Nigeria is going to the World Cup. Can you imagine? A country that did not qualify directly from its group matches could suddenly find itself heading to the World Cup through a mysterious and unexpected route. Yes, it sounds unbelievable, but hope is not lost. Something big may be about to happen, and if it does, it could favor the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Do not rush into conclusion yet. Let me explain. What began as a dramatic football final has now grown into a storm that refuses to settle. The 2025 AFCON final between Senegal and host nation Morocco ended with Senegal lifting the trophy, but the celebration was overshadowed by controversy. A late penalty decision, a disallowed goal, and a dramatic pitch walk-off by Senegalese players turned the final into one of the most talked about matches in African football history. Before we continue this video, let us look at one of the laws governing football. Football runs on passion. Players argue, fans rage, and moments can boil over in seconds. But when a team walks off the pitch in protest, the emotion stops mattering almost immediately. That is when the rulebook takes control, and the consequences are usually devastating. The basic rule is simple. Under FIFA's Law 3, a match can continue only if each team has at least 7 players in the field. If a team walks off and refuses to return, the referee does not call a team meeting or try to calm things down. The official suspends the match, documents what happened, and submits a report to the competition organizer. That is when it turns serious. A walk-off is classified as refusal to play. Under FIFA's disciplinary code, organizers may award the match to the opposing team. The standard outcome is a 3-0 forfeit, regardless of the scorelines when the players left the pitch. On top of that, fines, suspensions, and further sanctions are common. In a major final such as Morocco vs Senegal, if Senegal had completely walked off the pitch in anger over a controversial refereeing decision, Morocco would almost certainly be declared champions. Finals are not replayed because one team is furious. Trophies are handed to the side that stays on the pitch. There is one narrow exception. If players leave because of genuine safety concerns such as crowd violence, serious threats, or stadium emergencies, the referee may suspend the match without punishing the team. FIFA then investigates whether the walk-off was justified. Evidence matters, emotions does not. In the 98th minute, following the referee's decision to award a penalty to Morocco, Senegal's players walked off the pitch in protest. Reports say the instructions came from the coaching bench. That moment, watched by millions across the world, immediately raised questions about discipline, sportsmanship, and possible sanctions under FIFA rules. Since then, speculation has spread rapidly. Social media, fan forums, and football shows have been filled with claims that Senegal could face severe punishment. Some rumors even suggest a possible ban from the 2026 World Cup. To be clear, there is no official confirmation yet from FIFA or CAF. Senegal has not been banned. No title has been stripped. Everything for now remains a speculation. Still, the controversy has taken on a life of its own. Many believe CAF and FIFA will issue sanctions, but opinions differ on how heavy those sanctions would be. Some fans argue that walking off the pitch is a serious offense that embarrasses African football and deserves strict punishment. Others insist Senegal acted out of frustration caused by poor officiating. The refereeing itself has become a major part of the debate. Senegal supporters point to a goal that was ruled out before the penalty was awarded. They argue that the sequence of decision was unfair and provoked the protest. Critics of AFCON officiating say this incident exposed a long-standing problem that has gone unaddressed for years. Even respected football voices outside Africa have weighed in. Former stars have openly questioned whether AFCON referees are good enough for the level of football played at the tournament. Many fans agree, saying that poor officiating is often ignored, while players and teams bear the consequences. Despite this argument, abandoning a match remains a violation of FIFA rules. CAF is expected to act, but the scale of any punishment remains unknown. A World Cup ban will be an extreme step, usually reserved for repeated offenses or serious governance issues. Senegal does not have a history of abandoning matches, which makes such a punishment less likely, but not impossible. This uncertainty is where Nigeria enters the picture. Nigeria failed to qualify directly for the World Cup from its group stage. That reality disappointed millions of fans. However, football history has shown that qualification paths can change unexpectedly due to sanctions, disqualifications, and administrative decisions. This is why many Nigerians are paying close attention to the developments surrounding Senegal. Nigeria previously faced DR Congo during the African qualification process. DR Congo progressed to the Intercontinental Playoffs. If Senegal were removed from the World Cup picture and DR Congo qualifies through that playoff, FIFA will still need to fill Africa's slot. That scenario opens a possible window, however slim, for Nigeria. From a sporting and commercial standpoint, Nigeria will be a strong candidate. The Super Eagles have a massive global fan base, strong football history, and consistent World Cup presence over the years. If FIFA were forced to replace an African team, Nigeria would naturally be part of that conversation. Some Nigerian fans openly support tough sanctions on Senegal, arguing that rules must be respected no matter the circumstances. Others take a calmer approach, saying Nigeria should not celebrate another country's potential punishments but should remain hopeful and prepared. At the same time, there are warnings of backlash. Many African fans believe banning Senegal will be unfair and could trigger solidarity protests across the continent. They argue that referees escape punishment too early, while teams face harsh consequences for emotional reactions. Nigeria's failure to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup was as a result of poor performances in matches they were expected to win, rather than one single decisive game. Placed in a group with South Africa, Benin Republic, Rwanda, Lesotho, and Zimbabwe, the Super Eagles had a favorable draw on paper. However, their performances on the pitch did not match expectations, and costly drop points gradually closed the door for qualifications. Nigeria's problems started early in the campaign. In matches against Lesotho and Zimbabwe, two teams ranked far below Nigeria, the Super Eagles failed to secure maximum points. These were games Nigeria was expected to win comfortably, especially with the quality of players available. Instead, Nigeria dropped points through draws, wasting valuable opportunities to build an early lead in the group. This result immediately put pressure on the team and allowed other rivals to grow in confidence. The matches against South Africa proved especially damaging. South Africa were Nigeria's main competitors for the top spot in the group. Nigeria failed to defeat them in their head-to-head encounters, dropping points that later became decisive. While South Africa managed to win crucial games against weaker teams in the group, Nigeria struggled to do the same. This difference in consistency was one of the biggest reasons South Africa finished ahead. Nigeria also had mixed results with Benin Republic and Rwanda. Although the Super Eagles showed flashes of dominance in some of these matches, they failed to maintain control throughout the qualification series. In games where a clear win was needed, Nigeria either settled for narrow victories or dropped points entirely. These small margins added up over time and weakened Nigeria's position on the table. Another major issue was that Nigeria's strongest performance came too late. By the time they recorded convincing wins, other teams, especially South Africa, had already built a solid point advantage. In the World Cup qualification, timing is critical, and Nigeria's late surge was not enough to correct earlier mistakes. To be sincere, Nigeria did not miss the World Cup because of bad luck or conspiracy, but because they failed to win key matches against Lesotho, Zimbabwe, Benin Republic, Rwanda, and South Africa when it mattered most. Drop points against weaker opponents, lack of consistency, and failure to dominate their main rivals ultimately cost Super Eagles their World Cup ticket. For now, nothing is settled. FIFA has not spoken. CAF has not announced sanctions. The rumors are loud, but facts are still pending. Yet, football has a strange way of surprising everyone. So truly, Nigeria going to the World Cup may sound impossible today, but football doors sometimes open when nobody expects them to. Hope is still alive, and until the final verdict is delivered, the Super Eagles remain quietly in the picture.